You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 4th day of September, 2025. Thursday means tonight is our members only workshop, 8 p.m. Eastern. Please have your questions ready, and I'll do my very best to get us started on time. Of course, you know, on time typically means, it used to mean 15 to 20 minutes after, but we kind of got it down to about 5 after, but we're still shooting for right on time. That's our goal. We've been at it for quite a few years, since 2008. We'll get there. Anyway, thanks for joining us today, whoever you are, wherever you are. As always, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. We do 2 every trading day. The first one, that's our live training room. That one, of course, is reserved for our traders and those who are taking our 1-week free trial. If you've not yet taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael joins us in about an hour, he'll walk you through step by step how to take the trial. There's no credit card required. We'll get your indicators up and indicating today. The trial will officially start tomorrow. But the weekend won't count against you, and you'll have all of next week. So, just turn the 5-day free trial into a 8-day free trial? Wow. Amazing. Technology, huh? And calendars and weekends. Anyway, when you take the trial, you're not just getting access to the live training room. We work around the clock. We go to work Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern and around the clock until Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. Telegram is the heartbeat of all that we do. So when you take the trial, make sure your first step, get connected on Telegram so you have access to the discussion group, so that you have access to the alerts, the weekly trading zones, everything, because for 5 consecutive trading days, we treat you just like you are already a member. We want you to get the full experience. The only thing you don't get, one little thing, and that's the members only workshop on Thursday night. Now, if you've been on the trial and are on the fence, get your paperwork in so that Valerie can get you added to the list so that you'll get your invitation this afternoon to be in the workshop tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the noon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's two different ways you can join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go here to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In the email, there's a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, just click the link in the email. It will automatically log you into our platform. And the benefit there is you instantly have access to the question box. So you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you still want to join live. And some days you'll be busy, so you can't join live, but you do want to get caught up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. YouTube.com, you got that part, /CFRN. That's the Christian Financial Radio Network since 2005. Celebrating 20 years. But you don't have to remember all that. Just youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, simulcasting, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,900 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. I've been saying over 2,800 for, well, I guess 100 days, 100 trading days, because when I checked today, I don't know when it rolled over. It's been a while since I checked it, but it says we're now over 2,900, so yay. Now, if you're new to our neck of the woods, the YouTube channel is a great way to get to know who we really are. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can actually see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Now, obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to, but it is a great resource to have at your fingertips. And again, it does allow you to see how we've evolved over the years. youtube.com/CFRN. This is the schedule for each afternoon broadcast. So we're going to get going with our daily devotional. And we're beginning a new topic today, enemies of the heart. Today's scripture, Matthew 15, verses 1 through 20. And I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share it. Which version am I going to share this? I'm going to set it and forget it. Hang on a minute. Where'd it go? There's so many to choose from. Let's go with the Message. Now, a lot of this, if you're using the King James translation, the red letter edition, much of this would be in red. But again, it's Matthew 15, beginning in verse 1. After that, Pharisees and religion scholars came to Jesus all the way from Jerusalem, criticizing, "Why do your disciples play fast and loose with the rules?" But Jesus put it right back on them. Why do you use your rules to play fast and loose with God's commands? God clearly says, respect your father and mother, and anyone denouncing father or mother should be killed. But you weasel around that by saying whoever wants to can say to father and mother, what I owed to you, I've given to God. That can hardly be called respecting a parent. You cancel God's command by your rules. Frauds. Isaiah's prophecy of you hit the bullseye. These people make a big show of saying the right thing, but their heart isn't in it. They act like they're worshiping me, but they don't mean it. They just use me as a cover for teaching whatever suits their fancy. Of course, this is Jesus speaking. These are those red letters. He then called the crowd together and said, listen and take this to heart. It's not what you swallow that pollutes your life, but what you vomit up. Later, his disciples came and told him, did you know how upset the Pharisees were when they heard what you said? Jesus shrugged it off. Every tree that wasn't planted by my Father in heaven will be pulled up by its roots. Forget them. They are blind men leading blind men. When a blind man leads a blind man, they both end up in the ditch. Peter said, I don't get it. Put it in plain language. Jesus replied, you too? Are you being willfully stupid? Don't you know that anything that is swallowed works its way through the intestines and is finally defecated? But what comes out of the mouth gets its start in the heart. It's from the heart that we vomit up evil arguments, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, lies, and cussing. That's what pollutes. Eating or not eating certain foods, washing or not washing your hands, that's neither here nor there. Again, Matthew 15, verses 1 through 20. The simmering volcano. Our tendency is to monitor our behavior while pretty much ignoring our hearts. After all, how do you monitor your heart? I can't get too far off base in my behavior without somebody drawing it to my attention. But my heart, that seems a bit more complicated. Jesus said something that still has huge implications today. The things that come out of a person's mouth come from the heart. And then, out of the heart, come evil thoughts. The heart is such a mystery. In fact, one prophet asked of the heart, who can understand it? Jeremiah 17:9. Great question. The implication is that nobody can, with which I concur. And even if we do begin to understand it, we certainly can't control it, which is all the more reason we need to learn to monitor it. Like the seismic activity of a dormant volcano, what you don't know can hurt you. Suddenly, someone files for divorce. Suddenly, a kid's grades drop and his attitude changes. Suddenly, a harmless pastime becomes a destructive habit. Out of nowhere, devastating words pierce the soul of an unsuspecting loved one. We've all seen it, felt it, even caused it. Just as Jesus predicted, what originates in the secrecy of our hearts won't always remain a secret. Eventually, it finds its way into our homes, offices, and neighborhoods. The heart seeps into every conversation. It dictates every relationship. Our very lives emanate from the heart. We live, parent, lead, relate, romance, confront, react, respond, instruct, manage, problem solve, and love, all from the heart. Our hearts impact the intensity of our communication. Our hearts have the potential to exaggerate our sensitivities and insensitivities. Every arena of life intersects with what's going on in our hearts. Everything passes through on its way to wherever it's going. Everything. We need the courage to ask the Heavenly Father for help to watch over, understand, and purify our hearts. He is eager to respond and to show us how to replace old bad habits of the heart with new and better ones that will in time make us more like His Son. Over the next 4 days, we'll be looking at 4 enemies of the heart that everyone faces. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, remind us that true purity is not about outward rituals, but about the condition of our hearts. Cleanse us from pride, bitterness, and unkind words, and fill us instead with love, mercy, and truth. May our words and actions flow from a heart transformed by Jesus, bringing honor to You in all we do. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen, and happy Thursday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. We're going to start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, the indices as they're called. Currently the Dow up 221 points, the NASDAQ up 77, S&P 500 up 27, the Russell 2000 up 12. No movers, no shakers, but they are all green. Or all the same color. That's all we really care about. As futures traders, we just like to see them all the same color. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 40 cents, trading 63.57 last. Gold down 24 bucks, trading 36.1240 last. Silver down 63 cents, trading 41.06 last. That's a drop of 1.5%. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 641 points, 1.5%. The Shanghai dropped 47, which for the Hang Seng, or for the Shanghai, is a 1.25%. The Hang Seng fell 284 points, a little over 1%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 38, the DAX up 175, the CAC down 20. So that gave us a mixed day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. But at the moment, it is definitely a green radio Thursday here in the US of A. Hold on for me 1 second. I got something I got to take care of real quick. Don't go away. I'll be right back. We'll take a look at the headlines. Okay, that officially took more than a minute. My apology, but we're good to go. What we're going to do, look at the news? Sure. Why not? Florida's Surgeon General said yesterday the state would work to end all vaccine mandates, including those required for children to attend school. If successful, Florida would become the first state to undo its vaccine mandate program. Vaccine mandates date back to 1827. I had no idea. When Boston became the first city to require students to be inoculated against smallpox to enroll in public school. Massachusetts adopted the approach in the 1850s, followed by New York, Connecticut, and others. By 1980, all 50 states had adopted similar requirements following the invention of the measles vaccine in 1963. Today, over 50 million school children are required to be vaccinated against polio, chickenpox, tetanus, and other illnesses. Parents in most states can secure religious or medical exemptions. Governor DeSantis said he will end all mandates not written into state law and called on the state's Republican-led legislature to eliminate the others. That's a real hot-button topic. When I was a kid, everybody got their vaccines, but you only got a few. They get a ton of them now, and they get them like all on one day. And I think that's part of the argument the anti-vaxxers have, is that a child that young shouldn't have all that put in them all at one time so fast. Is abolishing the thing altogether the right answer? Gee, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on the internet, so I can't tell you. A federal appeals court ruled late Tuesday that President Trump cannot fast-track deportations of suspected Trinidad members under the Alien Enemies Act. The judges determined alleged affiliation with the Venezuelan gang does not meet the Wartime Act's threshold for expelling citizens of hostile nations. Why do I even read you this garbage? Because I want you to see the lunacy. Imagine what a twisted view of the world someone would have if they only watched MSNBC or they only watched CNBC. Or CNN. They'd have no clue, or even just legacy media. They would have no clue what's really going on in the world. See, I think you need to know the truth, not just one person or one group of people's opinion of what's happening. That's like living vicariously through your preacher's sermon every Sunday. That's not what God wants from you. He wants you to have your own revelations. He wants you to have an intimate relationship with Him. He doesn't want you to live vicariously through the incredible stories and anecdotes that your pastor so cleverly weaves together every Sunday. Why are leaders in our country so desperate to protect the criminal element? People who shouldn't even be in this country because they didn't come here legally. Every day, my mind gets blown. Founded in 2014 in a Venezuelan prison, Trinidad has since grown into a transnational gang with known cells in Colombia, Peru, and Chile. While its U.S. footprint is not publicly known, Trump accuses the group of violent crimes and illicit drug trafficking, and contrary to a declassified intelligence assessment, claims it operates under Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Now, how many of you, I know you saw it, in Colorado, they just took over apartment complexes. The people who rightfully lived there were evicted, and the gangs just took it over. And the city official says, "Hey, we got no problem here. Don't look this way. We have it under control." And if you watch legacy media, that's the story you got. If you listened to the news, which I know is difficult to find, no matter what part of the aisle, what side of the aisle you're on, I'm talking about, the actual truth, something that hasn't been filtered through someone's opinion lens, but just the facts. Well, those videos spoke pretty well of the facts. So, again, our duly elected officials are more concerned with protecting violent criminals, people with no legal right to be in our country, than protecting our citizens. Our citizens who pay taxes, which pay their salaries, our votes, which got them into office to start with. What's going on? And how do you get the truth to everyone? Had it not been for that presidential debate, which of course the legacy media was forced to carry, a big percentage of the population had no idea President Biden was in as bad a shape as he was in, because the news channel they watch had told them it was all hogwash, that it was cheap fakes, that none of it was true. But that night, the scales fell from the eyes of millions of people. So did that wake them up and make them, whoa, I better go find out the truth, because I've been lied to for 4 years. A lot longer than that, but I've been lied to about this one thing for what else have I been lied to about? Now, some people did go scurrying looking for the truth, but we're creatures of habit. Many just went back to their same old, same old. Yeah, I guess they got it wrong on that one thing. That's a pretty big thing to get it wrong on, isn't it? The leader of the free world. And during that 4-year period, we still don't know who the leader of the free world was. Anyway, enough politics and preaching. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission approved Polymarket to relaunch in the U.S. yesterday. Founded in 2020, Polymarket is the world's largest betting market by trading volume. They did over $9 billion in business last year. In 2022, the CFTC found Polymarket acting as an unregulated exchange, ending its U.S. operations after several accounts placed multi-million-dollar bets that then candidate Donald Trump would win the 2024 presidential election. And he won. So what did the FBI do? They opened an investigation into whether U.S. users were still operating on the platform. A decision Polymarket founder Shane Copeland characterized as, of course, politically motivated. The FBI under Trump closed the investigation in July without comment. Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., joined the company as an advisor last week. Billionaire Thomas Petterfee has suggested betting markets will eclipse the stock market within 15 years. Polymarket and its competitor, Kalshi, that's Kalshi, have nonetheless struggled to drum up sustained interest outside of U.S. election cycles, witnessing steep drops in engagement this year. Maybe tomorrow, if we have enough time, we'll take a look at the platform. On Wall Street, what do we got? Let's see. Oh, come on. Gotta get a new mouse. Stocks pushed higher today as Wall Street digested mixed economic data amid rate cut bets, with risk to Federal Reserve independence also in focus as a key Senate hearing to confirm, Stephen Moran is underway. Are they getting a little nervous? Unbelievable. Dollar stores. Now, we talked about this in depth back when it happened, when the franchise 99-cent only store. Now, I know there's a dollar store in every corner, but there was an actual company, 99-cent only. It was branded, whatever store you went to in whatever city. It was the same color scheme, the same merchandise floor layout, like a Starbucks or a Burger King. And one day, their employees just showed up to work and there was a note on the door. We're closed. They got no warning, no heads up, no nothing. So now we're looking at Dollar Tree and Dollar General. This is how Americans are dealing with economic uncertainty. Sales at both Dollar Tree and Dollar General grew in the most recent quarter, with these increases powered by higher income shoppers shifting their spending to lower cost alternatives. While sales growth was strong across all income cohorts, we continue to see especially strong performance from middle and higher income customers, according to Dollar Tree's CEO, Mike Creedon. That's what he told investors on the company's earnings call yesterday. The Department of Justice is opening an official investigation, a criminal investigation, into whether Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook committed mortgage fraud, ratcheting up pressure as President Donald Trump seeks to oust her from the central bank. Yeah, she should be ousted, but the central bank should be ousted. But federal prosecutors have issued subpoenas seeking information related to allegations that Cook misrepresented information on mortgage applications, according to people familiar with the matter who asked not to be identified, according to the ongoing probe. She lied. You can't claim two different houses in two different states as your primary residence, because you get a better interest rate if it's your primary residence. And how much money does she make? And how is she buying all these houses? Well, I guess that's a story for another day. And U.S. private payrolls increased less than expected in August amid easing labor market conditions. Private employment rose by 54,000 jobs last month after a slightly upwardly revised 106,000 increase in July. The ADP National Employment Report gave us this information today. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast private employment increasing 65,000 following a previously reported 104,000 gain in July. How much do those numbers really mean? Now, that's rhetorical. All right. Logic 247. It's our 24/7 around the clock Emini alert service. It's not just E-minis, also crude, gold, silver. We're currently in week 369. That's a little over 7 years. Over the last 369 weeks, we've issued over 20,400 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, Valerie did the recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, before Wall Street even woke up. So she'll, of course, update it this afternoon, probably right before the members only workshop gets started. Since the markets open Monday night, normally it's Sunday night, but we had a holiday Monday, so when the markets open Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Tuesday session, that's the beginning of the Tuesday session. Since then, we've issued this week a total of 30 alerts. At the time Valerie did the recap this morning, we were waiting on the outcome of 5. It gave us 25 actionable alerts, of which 3 or 12% would have been stopped out. Again, based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. So, over 20,400 individual handcrafted alerts. I never imagined when we rolled it out. Now, that doesn't include, I think we did a 3-week or 4-week beta test. Now, before there was a Logic 247, and again, Logic 247 is over 7 years old, we had our original alert service, Concierge Trade Alerts, and they're different. The Logic 247 alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. Every Logic alert has an entry price, long or short, an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day, additional targets, and then a final trade to target. CTAs are different. They don't come out around the clock, for one. They're posted as a static report, typically 5 minutes ahead of the Globex open. So the Thursday session that we're in right now began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. But all of our traders and trial members had all of these targets 5 minutes ahead of the open. S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, and silver. So let's go take a look-see. We'll start with the daily chart of the S&P 500, the bellwether, as we do every day. And we're still in this little snarl up here. We had a new all-time historic high here on August 28th. And that all-time historic high, 65.23. We put in a new all-time historic high, followed by a red day, followed by a doji, followed by a red day. But the pullback held. So now we got a green candle trying to push its way through red and falling. It's already overcome the black step line. It's trying to get through red and falling. The green line is called the BBC. Stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. Now, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC. As you can see, pullback held, the pullback held, the pullback held, and the pullback held. Pullback held until we finally traded through. The pullback holds more often than it doesn't. But we know eventually it's going to trade through. So the following day, when we opened and closed above the BBC, now it's on. This pullback right here See, these were prices below the BBC, but right here, prices above the BBC. Pull back held, pull back held, pull back held, pull back held. Pull back held, pull back held, and yesterday we had that big red candle, but look where we closed. Or no, that wasn't yesterday, that was Tuesday. That was Wednesday yesterday. We had that little inside day. Now, have we taken out Friday's high? Friday had a high of 64.82 and a quarter. Yes. So see, yesterday we had an inside day. We failed to take out Tuesday's high or Tuesday's low. We've now taken out Tuesday's high. Okay. So we had an inside day. And when you have a wide-ranging day like this, it's not unusual to have a quiet inside day like that. So now we're up against red and falling. If we break through that, we got this one high right here at 64.91.5. And then there are no obvious obstacles up to this high at 65.18. And then the all-time historic high at 65.23. So the question is, will price be able to push through? It looks pretty strong right now. I think we're on the high of the session or close to it. Now, all the alerts, the Logic 247 alerts, the Concierge Trade alerts, they're all created on the 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes, just the time frame I chose years ago. They say if it's not broke, leave it alone. So I did. The vertical line separates today, Thursday. Here's Wednesday, yesterday, Tuesday. And this would be the opening candle last night. Now again, all of our members and trial members had these targets 5 minutes before this candle printed. Okay. Now when we're above the BBC, we're bullish and expect higher prices. So we had a leg into the close yesterday. Then we caught a retracement into blue and climbing. Gave us a nice run up. Okay. That would have been more than enough to get your goal for the day. That ran from 64.55 to 64.71. That about 15, 16 points in that one 30-minute candle right there. So we get a leg, a retracement, a leg, where we put in a slightly higher high. But look where we close. See, it's always important where a candle closes, where you're looking at daily, where you're looking at 30 minutes. Now, once blue and climbing turned to red and falling, and the step line crossed blue and climbing, we expect a retracement back to the BBC. That's what we got. But the pullback held. So we get a leg, a retracement, a leg, a retracement, pullback held, the pullback held. We hit the long target. This pullback here. This was the 10 o'clock candle this morning when we had some econ news, high impact economic news. We've now pushed through the long target and we're consolidating at the weekly trading zone that was published Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Normally the weekly trading zones are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, except when Monday's a holiday, then they come out Tuesday morning. In either case, once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. And when price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. Only one of three things happens when price encounters a weekly trading zone. 70% of the time, you get this, consolidation. 20% of the time rejection, 10% of the time the slice. So we're trying to pull away from this zone, 6480/81. Now we've made it up. The high of the day is at 87.75. But you see, every one of these candles is touching the zone, 80.81. So we haven't really pulled away yet. There's like a gravitational pull. As you're approaching a zone, it gets sucked in, and then sometimes it's hard to pull out. But the further you get, once you get past that midpoint in there, then this gravitational force kicks in and starts our magnetic force and sucks it up. So anyway, for the last 2 hours, we've just been consolidating at the zone. On the Dow, we had a gap lower open last night, right down to the VBC. The pullback held, and this candle ran right up to the weekly trading zone that was published Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Okay. So support always sends the market looking for resistance. Resistance sends the market looking for support. It sends it back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, back to support. Over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. It's just how markets work. So this was the Wall Street Open. Okay. We ran all the way down here and then reversed course and ended up closing just off the high of that first 30-minute candle, which left a huge wick in its wake. Look at the next candle. Same thing. When you see huge wicks like that, in this context, it's very bullish. Now we almost made it up to the zone. We didn't quite make this high right here. That would have been potential resistance at 584 roughly. And we made it up to 576. Now, we may still make it to the zone, but look at what's happening. See the wick to the upside? In other words, price ran all the way up here and got slapped back down. Price ran all the way up. It got a little higher this time and got slapped back down. So what you want to watch for? See how the black step line and blue and climbing ran parallel on the way up? What's changing? Well, as we consolidate, as the black step line crosses blue and climbing, we then expect a retracement back to the BBC. Does it happen every time? No, not every time. More often than not, yep. Now, we could still get one more push and hit this area, which is a zone, and you can see how price consolidated. Remember, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this is Tuesday. Okay. All right, the Russell. Here's where we opened last night. Dropped 2, blue and climbing. Pushed us up 2 and through the zone, but we just consolidated. Remember, 70% of the time when price encounters a weekly zone, that's what we get is consolidation. And we had wide-ranging consolidation all night. Finally, this morning at 11 o'clock, we popped up. Now, you see these 2 wicks to the downside? That's an indication you're about to see, in most cases, higher prices. And we did. Not a lot higher. We need to take out this high from yesterday, and then we might just get up to the zone overhead. Or is this the end? Now, This target, of course, is just simply based off this high. Remember, price flows from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. So we went from support to resistance. And we've got a high, a lower high, but we're still above the BBC. Step line hasn't officially crossed balloon climbing. Maybe we get another pullback and then another run. If we trade through the BBC, now the pullback holds more often than not, but if this time the pullback doesn't hold, be sure to expect support down around this area here, 23.54. On the NQ, this was the opening candle last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We dropped the balloon climbing just like on the other indices, and like a rocket, we went straight up to the long target. This candle opened at 437 and ran to 515. It's over $1,000 per contract traded in that 30-minute candle. Then we consolidated the zone like we do 70% of the time. Then price pulls back to the BBC, and the pullback holds, as it does more often than not. Support sends us to resistance, more consolidation, and this is some really wide-ranging consolidation. Look at this wick, and this wick. Now we're trying to take out the high of the session, which so far for the NQ is 23,565 and a quarter. Okay, that covers all the indices. We will go on to crude, gold, and silver when I come back. Michael's going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room, and then do some live trading on the TradingView platform. I'll come back. I will finish the recap and wrap things up with our good word for the day.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
Looks good.
Good. Here we go. Let's bring this down. Here it is. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 4th day of September 2025. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for that trial. Just click on that purple button and it will bring you to, well, this page. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, gives you TradingView login ID. All right. If you don't have TradingView yet, click on this link and go get TradingView. All right. You can get a free version of TradingView if you want to. I would suggest getting at least the essential level where you get 2 charts. You're going to have to get real-time data to go with that. It's $7 a month. If you get the essential level, it's $7 a month for the real-time data. If you don't get the essential level and you go with the free version, it's like $30 a month for the real-time data. So go with the essential plus the data. Get the essential for free for a month, and the data costs you $7. So that's the way to go. Hit register. All right. When you do that, we'll know that you took the trial, and we'll get your indicators indicating for you on your desktop. All right. We had a good day today, finally. I say finally. We had, well, it's been since the 25th since we had a day over $1,000. You know, we had months where we were $1,000 almost every day. I think we had 1 month where we were $1,000 every day. That was almost every day. Almost every day. This one right here, what month is this? April. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 19 days were less than $1,000. That was our best month of the year. March wasn't too bad. 1, 2, 3 days in March, under 1,000. All right, I digress. So we're at 1,000 now. Well, 1,477.50 is what we ended up with this morning. We had 123 ticks on the NQ. Now that was not the high of the day for us on the NQ. The high was 159. Ended up with 31 on the Russell. That was the high. 47 on gold. That was the high. And 19 on the ES. That was the high of the day for us. Today it took 10 minutes and 5 trades to get to $2,100 because we started out with a stop out on the NQ. I took a total of 33 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $2,427 over 3 business days, averaging $809 per contract per 2-hour business day. And that's a big change from that one right there. I figured we were going to get there. If you were to, I'm sorry, so on the year now, we're at $186,872 over 150 business days, averaging $1,245 per contract per 2-hour business day. If you were to add 1 contract per month following the 24/20 blueprint, so far this year, you would have had to work 20.5 hours. Now, we only have a few months left this year, right? 3.5 months, 4 months left this year. 3 months? 3 months left, right? September, October, November, December, 4 full months, really, left of trading. So we should be able to do this in under 40 hours by the end of the year. Getting the goal for the day in under 40 hours. That'd be pretty awesome. Anyway, if you're going to do that and quit trading when you got the goal for the day, adding 1 contract per month, so far this year, you'd be up $112,622 if you did it just like me, and be averaging $5,484 per hour. All right. Now let's get into the actual trades. Here we go. We're going to go with the gold to begin with. Here were the trades on gold. We had a pretty good day on gold. We had a good day yesterday, but then we had 2 stop outs right at the end. But on gold today, we started out with the very first trade here. We got 1 tick, and then we got 5 that put us to 6. Then we got 2 that put us to 8. And we had a break even, another break even. Then we got 10 there that put us to 18. Then we got 8 there, put us to 26. Then we got 2 there, put us to 28. Then 9 to 37. Then 10 to 47. And break even right at the very end. That is where we ended it. Now, on this break even, it did actually go 7 ticks into profit. I just moved fast enough. During the break, let's see. During the break, there was nothing through there. Nothing through there. It didn't go the full cycle in here, so nothing was going to happen on the long side. All through there, nothing there. Then the short side, that was too high, so you didn't have anything there. That was too high. That was too high. You didn't have anything. This one right here was the only trade on the gold during the break. And that one looks like it went just enough to get the stop to break even. And that was it. That was gold. Okay, the rest, let me just minimize that so it's not distracting to anyone. The Russell, we ended up, our last trade of the day was on the Russell. I don't know if I marked that very last one. I don't think I did. It was this one right here. Right there. Maybe we got 15 ticks on that last trade. I go back to the beginning here. All right, so we didn't have anything on the Russell until here. We took a break even on that. Then on this one, we took 2 ticks. Then we had a break even. Then another 2 that got us to 4. Then 5 that got us to 9. Then 5 more that got us to 14. I don't think I wrote it down. Then 2 more that got us to 16. And then 15 more there. What did that end up getting us to? It was on the Russell. That's the wrong way. Here it is. On Russell, 31. Yeah, that's right. And 15 more got us to 31. And that was it on the Russell. Was that last one right there? There was another one that followed up right here. That was a valid trade. Worked out well. Another one right there. Valid trade that worked out well. Another one right there. These are perfect right here. The way these are coming together. 1 bar in the oversold, just enough to get to the midpoint. And worked out. This one here, that wasn't one. It was all the way over here. And that would have worked out too if you took it. Then that was it. That was it for the long trades. Then you get into the red over here, and this would have been the first one, which would have worked out eventually. And that was it. That was it, guys. So on the Russell, we ended up with plus 31. On the ES, now started out here. We got 4 ticks on that one. Then 4 more ticks there to get us to +8. Then 8 ticks to get us to +16. Then 3 ticks to get us to 19. And that was all we did on the ES this morning. Now, during the break, let's see. This was a trade here during the break that would have stopped out. That was on there. This happened a few times this morning where it came down and hit the midpoint as it went into the oversold, right? And then closed up on a down close. I mean, on a down move on this, it closed up on this. It was strange the way it was acting this morning. Not even a valid trade. Okay. And I suppose you could argue it is off the midpoint coming out of the oversolds. You could take this right here on the up close right there. You see, it did it again right here. Same thing. We take the open of the next bar. Right here, this was not a valid trade because this one didn't make it into the overbought. Looking over some more. And that was it. And that was it on the ES. We ended up with +19 on the ES. Now the NQ, we were killing it on the NQ for a little while, and then we just started giving it right back. Let me scroll over like this. All right. Let me get out the question box and see. All right, there are no questions. All right, so our very first trade on the NQ was our first trade of the session. We stopped out -25. Then our next trade was right here, +45. That got us up to 20. +45 got us up to 65. Then you had a +4 that got us to 69. Then another 45 got us to 114. Then another 45 got us to 159, and that was the high right there. I had a break even on that one, and then it started. I made a mistake on this. I should have had break even on that. So we stopped out there. That brought us down to 109. Then we stopped out there. That brought us down to 109. Then we stopped out there. That brought us down to 84. I think, yeah, 84. And then we got something here to get, we got something in here. I didn't write it down, but somewhere in there we got a gain of a little bit from 84. We got back up to 100. And then we stopped out again. That brought us back down to 75. Then we had a +4 that got us to 79. Then we had, it's a stop out, but hang on. Went from 79, I have 79 to 104 to 148 down to 123. So I think, yeah, I got these in the wrong order here. But anyway, we went from 79 up to 124, up to 148, and then we stopped out. We had down to 123. So I'm not sure how I ended up getting that in the wrong order. I have a couple of trades in there that I didn't register, it looks like. A lot of trades. What the heck, man? A lot of trades. We had all those pluses and minuses, and that was it. I thought I got everything right on that. Huh. Let's go back to the beginning. I know we had all those stop outs, and from all the stop outs, we got all the way down to 75, right? Yeah. After the last one, I think it was over here. We were at 75 there, I think. And then, no, we weren't at 75 there. The last, we were at 148 down to 123 right there. So this got us up to 148. So the one before that was, I showed as a break even, but I don't know if it really was. And I showed that as a break even, but I don't know if it really was. And then before that, we went from 124 to 148, and we had a break even. And the one before that Went from 79 to 124, and the one before that was the stop out. Okay, that's where we went from 100 down to 75. Okay, so there's a +4 in there somewhere that I'm missing. All right, so it all makes sense now to me, anyway. During the break, let's see what we had. Right here. This one right here would have been a trade, a long trade. This would have been a short trade. This would have been a long trade. This would have been a long trade. This would have been a short trade. This would have been a short trade. That would have stopped out. That was the first one that would have stopped out. And that would have been a long trade. And that would have been a long trade right there. Okay, and that was it. Well, there's a long trade right now. There's a long trade going on right now. Let me see, can I find my DOM fast enough? I don't think I can. Let me slide this over here. Gold, Russell, has this gone enough? 58.75, 62. It has gone into profit way too much to try to take the trade now. But if it's gone 10 ticks into profit, I wouldn't take the trade here. And it has gone 10 ticks into profit. So, all right. So that was all that. So if you have not taken a free draw, if you're just coming in on YouTube right now and you haven't taken a free draw, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for the draw. Just click on that purple button. It will bring you to this registration page. Fill this page out. Once you do, you'll be sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning. You gotta make sure you go to TradingView login ID down here so we can get your indicators indicating for you. Okay. Okay. So far today we're up 1477.50 with one contract. And now over here on gold, if you get an up close on this, we trade 9.7 up to 10.7 on gold. This is what it looks like on the DOM. And make sure I didn't screw that up. I just lost it. The low was 0.6, so I did screw it up. Hang on. It should be 0.6, not 0.7. There it is. Okay, that is correct. So we need an up close here and up close here on this. And we buy that. The ES actually has the same trade going on right now. Oops, it's not the ES. ES actually has the same trade going on right now. It's up close right here. All right, so we are long. I'm gonna find my DOM again. Where is the Russell? Oh, gold. Sorry, gold. Here it is. No, always on top. So we're long on the gold right now. The NQ actually had a long trade back here. That was one I told you about that we missed. The ES had a trade right here that we didn't do, and we're in the gold. Okay, I guess you could still do the ES if you wanted to, but I'm going to wait it out. I'll write it out here with the gold trade and see what happens. It should go up to 13.4. That would be plenty. They see it down here. So gracious, plenty. The S is looking a little more attractive if we get an up close on this. Right? If we get an up close on that, it look a little more attractive to me. Looks like we might stop out on this gold. And we did. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything right now? Anything that's going on? I know there's this funny looking red thing in here. I know. I'm investigating. Remember what I said about the Russell earlier, how it was perfect in here. Right through here, where you got this one that ran up, came right back down. You got another one, ran up, came right back down. You got another one, ran up, came right back down. You got another one, ran up, came right back down. So I'm trying to create with this. So every time this goes into the oversold, you buy the open. Every time it goes into the overbought, you sell the open. Oversold, you buy the open. Overbought, you sell the open. Oversold, you buy the open. Overbought, you sell the open. I wouldn't do it on this time frame, and I have other strategies in mind for the whole thing. That's just something I'm thinking, working on. We'll see how things develop. It's probably going to turn into another squirrel. Hey, I had my buy stop limit for the up close right there, so we're in on that now. Stop to break even on that. That is all we have. So we had to stop out over here on the gold. Let me put that on. Stop out over here on the gold. It's red. And so far, stops to break even on the ES. It should get up to 490 right here. Okay. And nothing over here on the MQ. The one that I missed was back here. $490. This is the high of the day right here on the ES. Go here and we look at the ES. That is the high of the day right there, 490. If we break up above yesterday's high, above 92.7, not yesterday's, but Tuesday's high, 91.50. The sky's the limit. All-time highs could be coming up. Okay. It could happen. It could happen. You don't know. It's still going. Right there. All right, I'm going to lock in 8 ticks on that right now. It should make it up here. Should make it right up there. Where? And what is a big deal like on that? 37 up to 46, 10 points. Just want to see something here. Interesting. All right. So on the Russell now, we are at the midpoint, but we need a down close followed by an up close to have a trade. Okay. On the ES and on the NQ. NQ, we need to get down here to the midpoint, followed with an up close. CES, we need to get a couple of down closes followed by an up close. We're in the oversold over here on the gold, but we didn't make it into the overbought, so you're not going to have a trade here. The Russell went into the overbought, but didn't make it into the oversold, so you don't have a trade there. And the NQ, we needed to close down on this one, then the next one, and then possibly the one after that could be a trade. Okay. Oops, that's probably loud for you. 2 points.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I threw a thing in the trash can. I didn't realize it didn't have a bag in it.
Uh-oh.
So it made a lot of noise. It's all good. Waiting.
We got a flood watch going on right now.
No, I bet you do. You get that monsoon, right?
Yeah, last night was pretty brutal, and I guess it's not done.
You guys don't know what to do with all that water.
Well, we didn't have hardly any rain last year, and we've had very little this year. So last night was really we've had some heavy windstorms, and some parts of the valley have had some heavy rains. But out here by South Mountain, we haven't had much till last night. And boy, did we get it.
Wow. Well, hopefully it all passes by without causing too much damage.
Well, at least in our neighborhood, because it's a more modern neighborhood, they actually put in storm drains when they built the neighborhood. The old neighborhoods, they acted like it was never going to rain, which it rarely does. But when it does, it rains an awful lot. And without storm drains, water's got no place to go.
Yeah.
Because the ground is like concrete. And so people's houses ended up getting flooded. It's crazy. Just crazy.
It is. It is something.
The dog kennel outside is ankle deep, so we'll have to be walking the dogs for days until the concrete can absorb the water, the standing water. That's if we have no more rain.
Yeah, if you have no more rain, it's just going to pile up in there.
If we have more rain, then it's going to be, who knows. So, and right before I went to bed last night, I said, "Hey Siri, is it going to rain tonight?" There is 0% chance of rain. And I'm looking out my window at the most incredible lightning show I've ever seen. It's, usually with a storm, you see a flash of lightning, then a few minutes go by, and you see another flash. This was just it was like on a loop. It just flash after flash after flash after flash.
That was before the rain hit you?
Yeah, that was before the rain hit us. I could see it coming over the mountain.
Wow. All right. So we have nothing. We really don't have anything to do right here. We just flipped the YDR down over here on the gold. Everything else has got bullish YDR right now. We'd have a down close here on the Russell. There's a chance on the Russell, but we're running out of time. We only have 2 minutes, but there's a chance on the Russell. I'll give you a down close, hit the midpoint, and then close up. Now the ES is getting up to the new highs of the day right here. These are new highs on the day on the ES. So what I was looking at earlier out here, well, I was looking at the SPY. We have to see all-time highs on the SPY between today and tomorrow. It'd be awesome. By the end of the day, it gets up to like here, and by the end of tomorrow, it gets up to here. That would be incredible. But we'll see. I know some of the guys wanted to talk about that in the meeting tonight. They want to talk about options and stuff like that. So we can cover that stuff tonight. Reminder to everyone, there is a partners meeting tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You still can't log into the morning session. Bart, I sent you an email yesterday with the information to get into the morning session. Remember, it's in Telegram. It's not emailed to you, but I emailed it to you yesterday when you asked me that yesterday afternoon. Remember, it's in Telegram. You don't get an email for it anymore. This is where it is in Telegram. You have access to this. Okay. That's where you got to go to get it. Okay. I'll send you, well, in here, I'll send you that link again. You're already part of it, I think. I go and look. Let me see. Let me just go look at all these subscribers.
You only have to register once per week.
Yeah. And let me just go down and see if you're in the list right here, Bart. Yeah, you are. You're right here. Last seen 2 hours ago. So you're in Telegram and you're in the list. So you're already in the channel.
All you got to do is click the link and enter the password.
Yep. Okay. So you're in there and you're in Telegram. It says you've been on Telegram the last 2 hours, or 2 hours ago, you were in Telegram. So what I can do is just give you the name of it right here. Do a search at the top of your Telegram for this right here. Copy selected text. At the top of your Telegram, do a search for that. Okay, and you'll find the group. It looks like this on the side. This is what it looks like on the side. All right. Do a search for that, then you have access to it. Okay. We didn't remove any access or anything like that. You're still in there. All right, guys. We just put in a new high here on the S. Let's just put this on the S. I know I ran out of time, but I just want to look at the S right here one more time. The way gold is dropping right here, I'm thinking the S is going to keep going up. Right now, this is on the daily, and we're above the black step line. We're above rate and falling. So if we close up above here today, then tomorrow we could easily get all-time highs tomorrow. Okay, with the news that comes out tomorrow morning, we have high impact news, really high impact news coming out at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right, so with that, let's just go through this one more time. We're up 1477.50 today. We're up 24.27 on the month, averaging 809 per day with one contract. If you haven't taken a free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple, no credit card required, fill out this form. All right, that is it. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Okay. Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 10 minutes and 5 trades to get to $2,100.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we left off with crude oil. Here we are. Crude has been falling most of the week. That was Monday when the markets were closed. Crude stopped trading. Let's see. No, this was Monday. Yeah, back here. And crude stopped trading at 2 o'clock. This was Tuesday. This was Wednesday. Now we're way into Thursday. So we opened last night. Again, everyone had the CTA targets 5 minutes before the market opened. So we opened right at a weekly zone, but well below the BBC. So we're expecting lower prices, and that's what we get. Right down to the short target. We consolidate there, dip a little further, hit the zone, consolidate at the zone. That's what happens 70% of the time. And then we dip even a little lower. Go look left. Support sends us to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, back to support. And when we trade through a short target like this or through a long target on the retracement, the underside, in this case of the short target, will often become resistance. Okay, so initially coming down, it was support. Now, these wicks sticking to the upside are kind of bearish, especially 4 in a row. We're above the BBC. I suspect, we know that the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. This one held, this one held. Then when we got on the other side, this one held, this one held. We may be about to trade through it. If so, look for potential support here at 63.30, 63.20, $63, and 62.75. Gold, this is where we opened last night, right here below the BBC, so we're expecting lower prices. So we get a leg and a retracement. Pullback holds more often than it doesn't. So we get another leg that takes us right down to the short target, to the tick. So we get a nice bounce off of that, and then we trade through the target. And we find support down here. And if we look across 2 days, today's Thursday, this is Wednesday, back here's Tuesday. Where the market found support Tuesday, it's exactly, so you're always looking left, okay? As price is coming down, you're going, okay, could have support here, could have it here, we could have it here, and there it is. That's how you do it. Support sends us to resistance, Pullback held. And it held and it held until it didn't hold. We get on the north side of the BBC and the pullback holds. Now it looks like this pullback might not hold, but you got 24 minutes left in the life of this 30-minute candle. A lot can happen in 24 minutes. Right now it looks like it wants to move back down to the short target, which it could do. It could actually move down to the short target and then still close the 30-minute period back above the BBC. All these wicks sticking to the upside look a little bit bearish, so I wouldn't be anticipating a rally on gold into the close, but you got to embrace all possibilities because anything can happen. Okay, this was the open last night on silver, and in the first 30-minute candle, we came all the way down to the short target. It only takes 2 pennies in silver to get your goal for the day. So we get support at the short target. That bounces us back up to the zone, 4175/76. These are the zones that were published Tuesday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, because of the Monday holiday. Otherwise, they're published Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. So we bounce up to the zone in the BBC. That's resistance times 2. Resistance always sends the market looking for support, which it found at the zone. Support sent us back up to the underside of the short target, which became resistance again and again and again. And right here off the 930 open, we came down, tagged that zone again, support, bounced us back up to resistance, pullback held. Now looks like we're headed. You could have potential support right there at 41.25. If we get through 41.25, then we're probably headed to the zone at 41.20. Potential support at 25. Get through there, should make it all the way down to 20. And if we trade through the zone, then the next obvious area for support would be right there. This low's been negated because this is a lower low. So you got to key off this one. And if price were to trade below this low, now that's when you got to go over here and see where the next low is. And then the next low. Same thing over and over, again and again. Okay, we're above red and falling. We're pretty much at the high of the session. So how we close today, now we have the unemployment numbers tomorrow morning, and those typically move the market, whether it's a hit or a miss. Volatility. That's going to come out at 8:30. So if you don't show up until the Wall Street Open, then all the fireworks will be over, but stock traders will not have had a chance to trade that information to the Wall Street Open. So you should expect volatility at 8:30 a.m. Eastern when the econ report comes out. Then at 9:30, you should expect additional volatility because that'll be the first. Now, as futures traders, we can trade we can trade around the clock. Stock traders are locked in from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to change in the coming, I don't know, I want to say months, but probably within a year. I think American stock traders will be able to pretty much trade stocks around the clock. That whole 9:30 to 4 thing has become a bit archaic. So So even though we're heading up to put in a new all-time historic high, you can see this looks like a transition. But you never know. We'll all have to wait and see. To become a member, send Valerie an email, support@cfrn.net. Just let her know you want to become a member. She'll send you all the information you need and a link that you can click to make your payment. Once you do that, she'll send you several emails with lots of information. Just create a folder in your email client and put those emails in the folder, because there'll be stuff in those emails that you don't understand. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this means. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. You're going to need it, okay? As you begin learning the strategy, the methodology, how to read everything there you will need. So hang on to it. As a passport holder, you'll get 2 hours of live training every trading day. It's an interactive environment. Along with 2 hours of group training every day, you have access to private one-on-one mentoring at your request. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Stocks, futures, crypto, Forex, ETF, it doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. It's just how markets work. As a passport holder, you get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock, the concierge trade alerts the second they're published each evening. Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones. Thursday afternoon, you get your invitation to attend the members-only workshop Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you get the keys, the golden keys that open all the private channels in Telegram. We got public channels, we got private channels. Once you become a passport holder, you got access to everything. All starts when you send that email to support@cfrn.net. Valerie, I'm ready to become a member. So wrap it up with our good word for today. Always do what's right. 1 John 3:21. If our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence toward God. When you willfully do wrong, you experience anxiety, stress, and insecurity. In Isaiah 48:22, we read, "There is no peace, says the Lord, for the wicked." Whenever you choose a plan of action incompatible with what you believe to be right, you forfeit your peace of mind. For instance, a person may accept a job or duty that forces them to do something against their spiritual convictions, something that violates their conscience. Many of us have faced the predicament of compromising our values so we can get a promotion or obtain other advantages. At the time, it looked like the only option. But Proverbs 16:25 says, "There's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death." This is when a strong spiritual foundation is essential. It takes faith and bravery to let your convictions direct your behavior and your choices. The truth is that God is ultimately responsible for your advancement and promotion. His word says in Psalm 75:6, "For exaltation comes neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but God is the judge. He puts down one and exalts another." Don't think you can do right in your own power. Sometimes the temptation to manipulate or lie so that you can advance your career is just too much to withstand. That's when you need to draw on God's strength. David said in Psalm 27:1, "The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" Whenever you're tempted, pray, "Father, please keep me from falling into temptation and deliver me from the evil one. Help me to do what's right." He will. In Jesus' name. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.